Hello and welcome to We Are One 2020. I'm Anne-Marie and this is my husband Peter, and we are live here in Victoria on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Thank you for joining us. It is 2 p.m. here and it's a nice sunny day, a little cool but nice and sunny. And we know that we have viewers from all across Canada, United States, Germany, Japan, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Greece. Gosh,
so many parts of the world and of our beautiful planet. And we'd just like to start by giving praise and thanks to the Creator and asking for blessings and healing for our world and for all of us.
And we know this has been a difficult, challenging year for many, especially with the coronavirus. But the upside is that it has motivated us to make our show virtual this year so we can reach so many more of you. So this is exciting.
And speaking of reach, this program today is being produced by West Coast Reach Association, otherwise known as REACH. It's a young and growing Canadian charity formed to celebrate inclusion and diversity through music and the performing arts.
And that's what we're doing here today, especially commemorating the United Nations Day of Human Solidarity and the Day of Persons with Disabilities, both advocating for inclusion and unity in diversity.
And we have some amazing performers today with us, sharing some stories in interview and also their music with us. Throughout the program, you'll also hear from a number of our REACH members. We're sure you'll enjoy the program. It's about 90 minutes long and a lot of variety. And it will be up on YouTube afterwards as well for others to watch or for you to see again.
Oh, great. Now, the success of REACH really depends on our volunteers and mentors, and we are so grateful to all of them. We'd like to introduce two of them to you here, and that's Pedro and Alexa.
Hi, Pedro. Hi, Alexa.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
we
guys.
couldn't do this without you.
Oh, boy.
We're so glad. We first met Pedro and Alexa when they were students at the Canadian College of Performing Arts, and they've been wonderful mentors and volunteers. So thank you. And here you're doing the live streaming for us this afternoon.
Yeah, we couldn't have done this without you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Now we'd like to introduce our first performer, GORDI MUNRO. GORDI is from New Brunswick. And GORDI, hope you're there live. Thank you so much for being part of our show. How's the weather out there in New Brunswick today?
Oh, it's a balmy 7 degrees, a lot of rain, but it's good. It's not snow, so that's a good thing. This time of year, we usually expect a lot of snow, but we've just got a lot of rain and good. It's in the positive digits, so that's a good thing.
That's
Good.
great.
Well, we really enjoyed speaking with you on Zoom, and we have a recorded short version of that we would like to share before you sing your wonderful song, Unity in Diversity.
Yeah, Pedro, if you could put that up for us, that would be great. The term Africadian probably is not well known here on the West Coast, or at least we haven't heard it.
Yeah.
And we wondered if you could describe its meaning for us, because you do describe your music and I think yourself as Africadian. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, even in the East Coast here, it's a term that's really, it's new. They've had Africans here, people of African descent here since the turn of the century, of course, and prior to that, as slaves who came up, and slavery was alive and well in this area as well as being an escape spot for people coming up from slavery from the South. So when the blacks came here, either through the Underground Railroad or through slavery, they mixed with the local people, and so a lot of that was with the French and the First Nations. So and this is really Acadia. Nova Scotia used to be called Acadia, of course, Nova Scotia, New Scotland. So, my cultural background is really reminiscent of that. I'm a product of that. So I don't deny it. don't want to deny it. And but that's who I am culturally. So I was raised in Nova Scotia, born here. My parents were, my great-grandparents were, my great-great-grandfather came from Baltimore, actually. But my great-grandmother was First Nations from the Yarmouth area of Mi'kmaq extraction. So, you know, so for me, that term sort of brings all that together. Unity and diversity, I love that idea. So I can remember, I think I was in my car or something, and I was just, you know, this melody, this hook. And I went, unity in diversity. So that's how that came about. I think worldwide, I think we're struggling worldwide with the whole idea of where we are in this phase of human history, because we're having to rely on our differences in order to be whole. And I think that is a difficult process to transcend into. We have to be less self-centered and more inclusive of what we all have to contribute. We want a healthy environment and a healthy life and a happy life. We're going to have to look at the totality of who we are. We are one family.
This is the time when we must unite. Time not to be divided. Division only brings us ruin and strife. Brothers, why can't we be united? So let me tell you about the spirit of the new age. Let me tell you about something. Let me tell you about the spirit of the new age. Let me tell you about something. So we say unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. Unity does not be the same. A garden is a garden when it has variety. The flowers enhancing one another. Man is mankind with his differences, created to enrich each other. So let me tell you about the spirit of the new age. Let me tell you about something. Let me tell you about the spirit of the new age. Let me tell you about something. So we say unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. Unity does not be the same. Unity in diversity. Unity does not be the same. There is only one tribe, one human race. We can make it if we try. The earth is but one country. We are all citizens. One world, one planet, please. Let me tell you, let me tell you, let me tell you. Let me tell you about something. Let me tell you about the spirit of the new age. Let me tell you about something. So we say unity of love, unity of freedom. Unity in unity, unity in diversity, unity. Thank you.
What a great way to start the show, Gordy. Thank you. And you've got some amazing musicians there backing you up as well. We'll look forward to hearing more from Gordy a little later in the show.
Yeah, great, Gordy. Thank you. Outreach groups have been rehearsing virtually since the start of the pandemic, since about March, and it's really been a highlight of our week, and many of them say that too. But being virtual has allowed us to have our members from Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, join us in rehearsals, and we've had some members who've moved away and are now living in Yellowknife and Japan and Texas, and it's been great. We've been able to have them all. So now we're going to hear from Paul and Brianna and Esla before we hear the song Reach, which we've adopted as our theme song, and that will be in rehearsal and performance by our Reach performing groups.
Yeah, Pedro, if you could put that up for us now. Thank you. So, Paul, what in your life do you really love that makes you happy?
Reach. Okay.
Aww.
Great answer, Paul.
What else can I say?
That's great. Well, we sure love having you in our group. And
We can't imagine Reach without Paul.
your enthusiasm is more infectious than COVID.
It doesn't matter what you are or who you are, what talent you have. When you get in the Reach, everybody just welcome you. You sing, you dance. It's like a family. Doesn't matter what you have. Reach caters for everybody. We all have a talent, no matter how we are. We all have a talent. It's just that we cannot see it. It doesn't come out yet. But sometimes wherever you are, somebody brings it out in you. It doesn't matter what. And Reach is a place you can do anything. Anything. You cannot speak, you can sign, you cannot sing, you can dance. Whatever, it's Reach. Reach. It's Reach. You know, it's Reach.
Some dreams live on in time forever. Those dreams we won't recall your heart, and I'll do whatever it takes. Follow through from inside me. Put it all on the line. What I hope for at last could be mine. If I could
reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I'll try my very best, put my spirit to the test. If I could reach. Some days are meant to be remembered. Those days we rise above the stars. So I'll go the distance this time, seeing more the higher I climb.
soloists in that group were Jason Clark from Tobago and Suzanne Starkowitz, and both are voluntary board members as well. Jason has been in a wheelchair since he fell out of a tree at the age of about 6 years old.
Mango tree, right?
A mango tree.
Mango tree
Yeah.
in Tobago.
In Tobago. And he is an international advocate for people with disabilities. And Suzanne has been a mentor and volunteer with our Victoria group here since 2017, and just a wonderful mentor. She was also a graduate of the Canadian College of Performing Arts and is now studying medicine at the University of British Columbia. So thank you both, and thanks to Pedro for putting that video together for us.
It's now our privilege to introduce our next guest performer, Sky Mundell, here from Victoria. Sky is an amazing jazz pianist. He also accompanies the Choir for the Blind here in Victoria and is himself blind. And Sky also is challenged with significant hearing loss and cerebral palsy, and just yet an amazing person.
Sky is blessed with many talents, including his music. And we are so happy you're with us live here, Sky. Hello, would you like to say hello to our audience?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
We can hear you. Wonderful.
So nice of you to be on our show again. You were on 2 years ago.
And you were a big hit.
You brought the house down. So thanks for being with us today again.
And thank you. Great. And I know you've got your mom and dad, Roger and Anne, there with you as well. So hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
thank you very much for letting me come on again. It's
our
my pleasure.
privilege. Our privilege. And we have some video clips of interview we had with you, and also just short part of it, and also a couple of short parts of two of the numbers you performed for us 2 years ago, Summertime and Ain't Misbehavin'.
Great.
So we're here to enjoy.
Rose.
Yeah.
Rose.
Wonderful.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you.
If Pedro,
Okay,
Great.
Pedro, if you could put that up. Thanks again.
Sky, can you tell us about how your relationship developed with the piano?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so when I was 3 years old, I went to a shopping mall. We saw a piano, and I wanted a piano, and my dad said if I learned a Beethoven composition, they would get me a real piano, but I didn't get into it properly until I was about 16 or 17.
we couldn't drag him away from this. It was an electric piano in the mall, and he just loved the noise and the vibration, and he had his ear up against the edge of it and everything.
Yeah.
And he had a keyboard at the time that he used to just mess around on. And he wanted one of these electronic pianos, and I said, no, there's no way, because you just mess around with it. When you can play properly, I'll get you one. And shortly after that, I came home from work, and my wife said, you'd better, how much money have you got? I said, why? She says, you owe Sky a piano. And what he'd done is he had copied there was a demo tune on his keyboard called For Elise.
Yeah.
Beethoven.
Beethoven.
And he had copied it exactly. He played it exactly like.
Not exactly, but
Close.
Enough that I couldn't tell the difference.
With two hands?
Yeah, all the way through. All the way through.
Wow.
And how old were you then?
3 years old.
I think you were more like 5 or something.
No, 3 to 5 years old.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to come through with an acoustic piano.
So we bought him a piano, and then he ignored it for the next 15 years. I didn't want to waste the piano, and I was convinced that he had a gift for this, and so we kept trying him with teachers. I think we tried one when he was 10.
Yeah.
And he just messed around trying to experiment with sounds and things. And the guy said, I'm sorry, don't bring him back. And then we tried again when he was 14 or 15. Well, we tried 2 or 3 times with different people. And they were trying to teach him the conventional way, trying to hold his hands in the proper position. He just wasn't into it. He only wanted to hear the noises it made.
Yeah,
and then
it's typical.
And then we met a piano teacher who had this inspiration that he said, look, Sky, listen to this CD. And it was George Shearing. And that started him going.
Yeah, and he recognized, that teacher recognized that I would learn best when listening.
It's time, Mundell!
That's amazing, incredible talent. Thank you, Sky. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, we'd like to share with you that REACH is very much volunteer-driven.
And we're very grateful to our volunteer board members, our volunteer performing mentors, and our team member, Laura Lee, who is on our board and does our choreography and so much an integral part of the team. Thank you.
That's great. And we are so grateful to Karen Elgersma Media for voluntarily creating the short video about REACH, which we're going to share with you now. Thanks, baby. I just love to see all peoples come together to sing and share the joy and celebrate life. we have the opportunity to work with such diverse communities.
Our original group is called Reach Performing Company, and we're celebrating diverse ability. About half the members of that group have a significant disability, and the rest of us pretend to be normal.
I have taught performing arts for years, and I've had so many choirs and some wonderful choirs, but I don't know why we have never had anybody with special needs or that's different that have, has come to be part of the choir. And it's after all these years, I'm trying to think why, but I think it's because they feel they're not welcome or they can't do it, so they don't even come. So we have made Reach accessible. We're calling you. We want everyone to come.
Reach truly celebrates inclusion and diversity of all ages, cultures, and abilities through the performing arts. This unique model combines trained performers with people of diverse abilities and backgrounds, and the result is pure magic.
I think this group has just brought back the joy of theater and singing and just being a part of something bigger than yourself.
My friend Heather told me about Reach, and I tried it and I loved it. And I love performing and singing in front of people.
Well, what I love about it the most is all my friends I made and the songs I'm singing and the performing too. I like being in front of an audience.
We also bring together members of the street community once a week with the Our Place Outreach singers, and for many they say that is a highlight of their week. And we have a group that brings new Canadians together with established Canadians called Diverse City Singers. I think we have at least 15 nationalities represented, and language is not a barrier. Of course, we're using the universal language of music, and the joy, the laughter, the camaraderie is just amazing.
In the media of music and songs and specific lyrics of the songs, it presents a very powerful and profound message that no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from or what you do, we're all the same.
But to meet people I would probably never have ever met, people with varying ability levels, and just seeing the joy that comes across their face when they're together and they're singing.
As soon as you start to sing, it's like every little problem that you may have had over the course of the day, every little down problem you've had through the course of the day just seems to melt away, and everything is, it's so uplifting and so positive.
We had 70 people on that stage. And, if you don't know, you can't tell who's homeless, you can't tell who's refugee. We don't know, right? Mental illness, there's all kinds of stuff up there. You don't know, we're all up there, standing next to each other, talk about one big family. I like to say it's perfectly imperfect. Perfectly imperfect, because the imperfections are so wonderful, just so wonderful. We see everybody for who they are, and they bring their best, and it comes together. It comes together. It's just amazing.
Due to COVID-19, Reach is hosting virtual choral sessions, and they have added a free weekly public virtual sing-along for anyone interested in singing uplifting songs from home. Go to West Coast Reach to find out more.
I said, well, all you have to do is show up, really. And if you love to sing, come and be part of it. If you have a desire to, they all say it's just opened up their eyes to a whole different view of people who are different, but when we look at them, they feel the same way we do. They laugh, they cry. We'll say we laugh and cry in the same language.
We're so pleased to be able to bring you this show today thanks to some individual donors and to the Norgard Foundation. Normally we have a live show this time of year in person and sell tickets, and those funds help us cover some of our expenses for operating during the year. But we did want to offer this session and show online free this year. But if anyone would like to help us with a donation, please go to our website. There is a donation options page, and it's really easy and it's tax deductible.
Well, thank you for considering this, and thank you to those who support us. Now, you know, REACH brings together very diverse peoples, as you saw in that video. And we now have a short video clip of one of our REACH members, Charles, who is part of our...
Ken.
No, sorry, the video clip is of Ken.
Ken is talking about Charles, right?
Right. And Ken's part of our outreach choir at the street shelter, our place. And he's going to tell us about his relationship.
Charles is a resident of the street shelter.
Charles, that's right. It's a good thing I have you here.
Having been on the street, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Together we'll do it.
About your relationship initially with Charles and how you feel it may have had an impact on your life and his life.
I like to sing, and the REACH meetings at our place every Wednesday sounded just perfect. So I enrolled with you and one other group, also with a connection to homeless people. And I went every Wednesday, and I got involved in the concerts. Last November and in December, the two big concerts, and another couple of smaller venues that we did. And I just enjoyed it, and it gave me a whole new perspective on life, because I'd never dealt with homeless people before, or people with disabilities, and people who weren't necessarily doing that well in their lives. And it opened my eyes, and I met Charles, and over a period of time, I just sort of made a connection with him, and sort of like the guy, you know. And so when it's made a difference in my life. It's a positive thing in my life, and it makes me realize how fortunate I am in my life, and yeah, it's just made a difference. It's opened my eyes.
REACH does bring people together in some amazing ways. I hope that Mitch and Cecilia are on and watching today. They, a young couple, met in our diversity singers. They're now a young couple and engaged, but first met in diversity singers. So congratulations, Mitch and Cecilia.
Hey, maybe we'll have them on our next show live and they can tell us their story. And that's how we met, through music and performing. And here we are 38 years later. So wonderful. There is also romance.
You might be wondering, that was 38 years ago, so you look only like 40. So we were really young when we met, right?
Sure, right. So there's a lot of romance in the next story and music of our next performers, Jenny and Dennis. And their love story spans the globe. Hi, Dennis Shorty is from Yukon, Canada, and Jenny is from East Germany. And they now live in a small community, Ross River in the Yukon, and perform as DENA ZAGI, which combines contemporary music with DENA language.
DENA language and themes.
And
yes.
themes, yeah.
And thank you guys for being with us. We had wanted you to come down from the Yukon for our live show this year. And of course, we couldn't have a live show, but this is wonderful. We're seeing you in your own home with Dennis's artwork up behind you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us. Hi, everybody. Hi, dear world. It's nice to be part of this beautiful event.
And I think you probably have other friends from the Yukon and even Germany tuning in today, which is wonderful. I think you've got some snow up there, probably.
Yes, we do. Yeah, got all the snow.
After the
And
show,
the
we
river's
have to
frozen?
Well, we had a wonderful interview with you. So many things there and stories. We could do a whole show on you, and maybe we will in the future, and hope to have you down live for a live show next year.
We would love to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis, did you grow up in the Ross River area?
I grew up all over, yeah, the land, yeah, all over in Ross. So I was born way out in the bush between Pilly Lakes and Fortin Lakes. I was born under a tree. That's where I was born at.
I hope it was summertime.
It was July 14th.
Okay.
1958.
Under a tree in the Yukon winter would be a different story. Jenny,
Wow.
Jenny, you were not born in the Ross River area. When?
It would have been a good month though. It was in May. But I was born and raised in East Germany, an hour drive from Berlin, south of Berlin, and I was raised by 3 generations, like my grandmother, my grandparents, like my grandfather too, and my auntie who is the Down syndrome, and my mom. So we were in 3 generations in a household and as neighbors, and it was a beautiful experience. But we were in in the socialism state, like in the GDR. That's how I grew up until about 17, and then the wall came down, and then I was ready to travel, and I traveled like 2 years after I saved up some money. I was able to travel and explore the world, and yeah.
So could you share for us a little about the songs, the names and their origins? That would be a real help for us.
Yeah, that song, W.H.O started when we first met. We were living out in the land, in a house with no electricity or anything. We're just trying to writing song, but it was in English. I was writing song in English. I was trying to figure it out, and honey said, "Hey, why don't you write song in your language?" Oh, okay. I think about my grandparents looking across the mountains in the valley, and I was thinking about them. They're traveling in the spirit, yet they're still there, eh? Out on the land. Every time you go out there, so that means over the pass. Over the pass, or over in that direction. So that was my foundation. My grandfather is still walking in spirit.
This other song I wrote, it's dedicated to our ancestors that left their imprints on Mother Earth, and their spirit still here alive with us today. And it's dedicated to them and us and the future generation. It's called W.H.O. And it goes something like this.
song. It's called the Sister Song, Dad's a Hymn. And that was inspired by a young lady when we went down to Vancouver in 2010 for the Olympics. Dennis was part of it as a visual artist. He's also carving and painting, and he was chosen as one of 10 First Nation visual artists from the Yukon to travel to the Olympics and to be part of it in that way. And that one young lady, there was like over 40 people from the Yukon traveling down to the Olympics. And that one girl, one morning, she was sitting in the corner and she was crying. And I said to my honey, let's go over to her and have coffee with her, sit down with her, and, you know, ask her what's going on. So I did ask her, why are you crying? And she said, you know, I just had a phone call this morning from an elder from our community, and he told me I'm not supposed to touch the drum because I'm a woman. I'm not supposed to touch the drum. And because he was with the drum group down there in Vancouver performing, and they're beautiful performers too. And then she said, you know, but who's gonna drum and sing for our stolen sisters, for our stolen mothers, for our stolen aunties, grandmothers, for all the young women? And that was so heartbreaking for us when we went back home with that emotions and the thoughts that what she gave us. That was so inspiring to write a song out at the lake where we stayed the first 3 years together about the missing and murdered Indigenous woman on this planet. It's not just in Canada, but it's worldwide, right, a problem. So that was inspired by that young lady.
That is, what is the most important message you're wanting to send out through your music?
You know, we perform for school too, for school kids, little kids, tiny babies and growing up kids. And, you know, after we finish, we ask them, do we have a question? You know, hands go up, me. Just one kid, you know, okay. You know what he said? Are you two brothers and sisters?
Aww.
Yeah.
That's the best compliment. That's what we represent. Just people, right?
Yeah.
We're just people, and that's so beautiful. And those little ones, they get it. they totally have it. They're pure heart, they're pure love, and when we represent everybody.
Yeah. And you know,
we're all one people, one animal, we're all one land, one earth, one universe. That's what we represent with the music and as performers.
And
that's what our show is. We are one.
나는 특별히야 돈을 세가라 세가를 뛰가는 나는 되게 됐을 나는 가야지 세가는 세가를 뛰가는
Thank you so much, Dennis and Jenny. Very heartfelt. Thank you. And thanks to our son, Dan, for doing some editing of putting the interviews and the music together there. As mentioned earlier, we are recognizing two very special international days. One of them is Human Solidarity Day. And the COVID virus has really made it so apparent how important it is that we all get together locally and internationally to work with each other and be one family. We have a short video clip from the Director General of the World Health Organization, and he's speaking to this topic. Following that, there's going to be just a short clip from one of our members from Tobago, Jason.
Like me, I'm sure you have been touched by the videos of people applauding health workers from their balconies. Or the stories of people offering to do grocery shopping for older people in their community. This amazing spirit of human solidarity must become even more infectious than the virus itself. This is the defining global health crisis of our time. The days, weeks, and months ahead will be a test of our resolve, a test of our trust in science, and a test of solidarity.
What could we do alone or together to help make the world better?
You know, like when you do in a pot and you have certain ingredients, so once we value each person and could be able to identify people's strengths and focus on the strength, because if you're baking a cake and I like cinnamon, and you'll be able to add that flavor to bring up anything, We don't have to be good examples, and you see if everybody in their own spaces, practice love and exhibit respect, for each other. And so I guess we now could be those shining lights that could be able to, be the example for others.
I love it, Jason. I love it. Each of us is an important ingredient, and we each have our own special flavor to add to the pot. Great. I love the analogy. Now on to our next guest performer. Well, there's no better song to say how important inclusion and unity are than One People by MORRY STEARNS. And MORRY is an incredibly talented musician and a beautiful giving spirit. We could write a whole show here on this incredible man and his accomplishments.
And he's right here from Victoria as well. Now, there's an organization in Victoria, and it's called Pacific Essences, and they procured and have timed some lovely images to go along with Morrie's song, One People. So we're very grateful both to Morrie and to Pacific Essences letting us use the song. And we have a short interview. Morrie was not able to be live with us in the interview, but we did it by phone, and I think
We
you'll
can
enjoy
share that now.
Yeah, thanks. You are a celebrated singer, songwriter, producer, and we know you've worked with a number of really amazing singers. What would you say has been the highlight of your musical career so far?
I was thinking about how I would answer that question, and I wrote down a little line that says, "My life is a never-ending series of highlights." And because I kind of feel that. I mean, there's not one particular event or highlight that stands out so far above the others. I've had just a wonderful, wonderful career, and my music has taken me around the world several times, and that alone is a highlight. As far as specifics are concerned, I would think, right up near the top of the list would be my 10 or so years that I spent playing with David Foster and his band here in Canada, and being allowed to back up people like Celine Dion and Bryan Adams, and on and on and on. I mean, there was so many highlights from that experience that it's hard to list them all. Just having my songs recorded by other artists like Peebo Bryson and Christina Aguilera, and a great honor, and having my songs touch, like we're talking about right now with One People, the amount of people that song has touched and been reused over and over again and sung in schools and choirs and celebrations, and I mean, what an honor.
Morrie, again, thank you for enabling us to use this amazing song, One People, for the show.
One People. And how did that song come about, Morrie?
Well, I remember on a particular evening in about 1989, I remember before I went to bed one night, I was thinking, you know what? I mean, I've written songs about this and about that, and mostly love songs, and that's fine. But you know what? I would really like to, before I hang up my songwriting pistols, I would really like to write a song that I felt that literally everybody on the planet could relate to in some way or identify with, and a song that kind of cut beneath all the specific things that we think about all the time. And I thought, regardless of what race, what color we are, what race, what religion we are, what our political affiliations are, what country we're from, as beautiful, as magical, as important as all that is, what I felt was more important, or almost underneath or above all of that, was the fact, as our First Nation brothers have been telling us for years, the Great Spirit within us all. The fact that whether we admit it or like it or know it, we are, in fact, I think, one great, big, beautiful, sputtering, stumbling, learning, global human family, interrelated, interconnected. We need each other. What one country does affects others. What one person does affects others. And if we could start thinking more in those terms and not, spend so much time thinking in our own little bubble, we would have much better chance of saving the planet and creating world peace and just making life better for everybody.
There are no countries. There is just one family. There are no colors. Just one light in you and me. There are no reasons we can't live live in harmony. As just one people, in just one world, you and me. There is no freedom if the people cannot choose. There is no victory if my brother has to lose. There are no boundaries that mean more than being free. As just one people, in just one world, you and me. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. The time's upon us, and the healing must be done. The world around us is calling all to act as one. There are no causes greater than the world we see. We are just one people. There is just one word for you and me. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Take a look deep in your brother's eyes and tell me what you see. I see the spirit in disguise, just smiling back at me. Oh, we are the world around us, we are part of all we see. Every little thing that you do touches me. There is a vision that we all must realize. Think of the children, try to see it through their eyes. What will we leave them if we never learn to be? Just one people, just one word, you and me. When it's all said and done, we are one.
Ah, Thank you so much, Maury. Such a beautiful song, so applicable for our theme today. Thanks to Pacific Essences for the images. And if you came on a little late, we had mentioned at the beginning that this would be a 90-minute show, and I think we're right on time. Another 25 minutes and 25 glorious minutes of stories and music. And Marie, what's coming next?
Okay, next we're going to hear from the Reach performing groups again, and they will be performing, and in rehearsal we've got video of Don't Laugh at Me. And soloists are Jen Fraser-Coward, Tanya Jones, Colin Owens, and Brianna Crooks. Don't Laugh at Me.
I'm a little boy with glasses, the one they call a geek.
A little girl who never smiles, 'cause I've got braces on my teeth.
And I know how it feels to cry myself to sleep. I'm that kid on every playground who's always chosen last.
A single teenage mother trying to overcome my past.
You don't have to be my friend,
but is it too much to ask?
Don't laugh at me, don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect dreams. Don't laugh at me.
I'm a cripple on the corner. You've passed me on the street. I wouldn't be out here begging if I had enough to eat. And don't think I don't notice that our eyes never meet. I lost my wife and little boy. Someone crossed that middle line the day we laid them in the ground. That's the day I lost my mind. Right now I'm down to holding this little cardboard sign. So don't laugh at me,
Don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect dreams. Don't laugh at me.
I'm fit,
I'm short,
I'm tall,
I'm deaf,
I'm blind.
hey, aren't we all? Don't laugh at me, don't call me names, don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect dreams. Don't laugh at me.
Thank you, Reach. Such a lovely song and an important message. We're very privileged now to introduce our next guest performer, Jack Thomas. Jack, are you with us live? There you are, man.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Hi,
Nice to see you both as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, it's so great to meet you, and we enjoyed our interview with you. Getting to know you, at least through Zoom, has been great.
Yeah, and your incredible story, which is amazing. And we're going to share some, we first saw you on the news on TV, and they were talking about this one-armed drummer, and that your videos had over 1 million views or something like that. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. The videos have been blowing up lately.
Incredible, just amazing. Well, we certainly want to share some of that interview and your incredible music.
Yeah, some clips of some of your drumming, which is pretty amazing, very amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks again, Jack.
Of course.
Jack, can you take us through what happened when you lost your arm?
Absolutely. So it was September 4th, 2015 was the date of my accident. I was working at a drywall recycling dump. What my job was to stand in a line of 3 conveyor belts and sift through the drywall that came through and pick out anything that wasn't drywall. So between the 3 belts, there was the first belt where these big John Deere loader trucks would dump in piles of drywall. And from there, it would be dispersed out onto the belt in front of me. And that's where I would sift through and pull out anything, paper, metal, plastic, anything that wasn't drywall. The 3 belts had 3 switches, a switch for each belt. All 3 switches needed to be shut off before any operating happened. These switches as well were quite faulty. We figure because of how much dust was in the air, there would be dust that would get into the switches. So sometimes you'd go to turn it on and nothing would happen. So you'd kind of have to wiggle it back and forth. And then eventually it would turn back on. Same thing would happen where you go to turn it off and it wouldn't turn off and you'd have to jiggle it until it turned off. So here I am getting ready to start the day. I just cleaned everything up finally, go to turn it on, nothing. So I wiggle it back and forth, nothing's happening, keep everything in the off position, and I go down, look down below and see, okay, there's quite a bit of metal down there, so I have to get all this out to start the machine. So I start doing exactly what I'm trained, rolling it back, pulling it out and everything, and yes, of course, and then the belt turned on. So my hand gets stuck, gets pulled right underneath, and I'm fine, kind of frustrated, annoyed that I had to be the one to do the cleanup that day. So I start waving for help, but nobody's there. I didn't have a walkie-talkie. There's no emergency stop button anywhere close to me. No one can hear me because there's only 3 of us working, the youngest members of the staff, albeit, and it's a very loud place. So next thing I knew, I was waking up on the ground. Didn't really remember what happened, but just knew that my hand was stuck and whatever it was going to be really bad. And if I looked down, I might not be able to go get myself help. So I ran outside, I screamed for help, laid myself down and closed my eyes. I just didn't want to look. I didn't know what happened, but I just knew that something had happened. I couldn't feel anything. I remember thinking to myself, I can't feel the right side of my body. And almost as a joke, I'm like, I wonder if my arm's there. And then I started to realize, oh, this could actually be true. So I asked the gentleman holding my hand, I said, you got to tell me, is my arm there? And of course he hesitated, which is more than enough of an answer for me, but I still needed to hear it from him. So I said, you have to tell me. And he said, I'm sorry, buddy, but your arm is gone. And I think I can vouch for everybody. Nobody knows how to react to that. We're supposed to get through our entire lives with all 4 limbs. So tag on that I'm a drummer, someone who needs all 4 limbs typically to play the instrument that I play. That's career ending for me. And then tag on the fact that I was only 17. I was only 17 years old. I was 4 days away from going into my graduating year. And that was it. Everything I had worked towards my entire life was over. So a few minutes later, the paramedics show up and they start radioing in everything that happened. And they say, arm severed at the elbow, shoulder dislocated. And that sparked me with a really strange backwards style of hope, because I thought to myself, wait a minute, I still have half my arm. I thought the whole thing was gone a minute ago. So, because I thought that it's so backwards. I'm like, hold on.
Talk about a strange glass half full.
Exactly my thoughts. I guess in my mind, I'm like, I just thought that I had nothing, and now I have twice as much as what I thought, and I'm like, this is fine then. So I immediately, it gave me a spark of hope, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to get a cool prosthetic, I'm going to go rock climbing, I'm going to be the best arm wrestler in the world. Wishful thinking things, but it got me calm. It made me realize that I can continue going. Now, this is minutes after my arm was torn off, and I'm already sitting there tapping on my chest like, all right, I can do this. Thinking of the songs I used to drum, thinking of my favorite beats, and everybody was sitting there like, what are you doing?
That's incredible.
I was so blown away by it, and I was just ready to drum right there and right then. And my friends and family are truly the reason that I'm here. It was the support, the outpour of support that I was given right off the bat and continuously to this day that has helped me get here. And I mean, yeah, of course, while music is a huge part of it, I think for myself, and I don't think about this enough, but the fact that I have the ability to be inspiring for everybody, especially on those bad days when I realize that I can be a helpful person and be a source of inspiration and positivity for people, friends, family, loved ones, strangers, you name it. That makes me pretty happy.
I love how he's just waiting for that last hit of the cymbal. What a great story, and amazing drummer, and
very inspiring.
He loves so many different styles. It's great. We're coming pretty close to the end of our program. Just a few short interviews and two more songs. Let's hear from Avril, Vivian, and Alexandra. Avril, what do you think the world needs more of?
More singing.
More singing. Yay!
Great answer. We'll use that one for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Why do you say that?
Singing, music makes me happy.
Exactly. That's exactly
so nice.
what I would have said.
Yeah.
Singing makes me happy.
Vivian, what do you think about Reach? Who's the funny part of Reach? Peter, why?
Oh, no.
We love your jokes. We love your jokes. And there are many nights I have come to choir practice on the Thursday nights. To be honest with you, I'm dead tired. It's towards the end of the week. I'd rather be home with my feet up. And by the time we drive home, we are singing in the car and laughing and howling about Peter's jokes.
Thank you so much for being part of Reach. You bring so much to us.
So much,
Thank
so
you.
much joy. Yeah.
And thank you to the two of you, to the two of you for keeping us going. And especially during COVID, it is absolutely amazing how you have found a way for us to come together online every week. And we not just sing, but we have great videos to see and such a nice variety. You have great ideas and you keep us inspired, and we'll just keep coming back.
I'm so pleased that so many are coming on.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a real community, and if anybody sees this, please join us because you'll have a blast.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to include that. Oh, that's great. I love it. The world needs more singing. Yes, more singing. Well, Reach has a free weekly sing-along. Virtual sing-along. And we'd love if you want to come and sing with us. So if you want to find out more about that or about our programs or how you can help by making a donation, then, just visit our website. You can search West Coast Reach Association.
And we're really pleased now to bring back GORDI MUNRO for another song, an original song, and a beautiful one called Freedom, with a little interview. Did you write Freedom, or is that somebody else's song originally?
I wrote that, yeah. Now this is really interesting because I have a very good friend. His name is Armand Dion, who's a keyboard player, phenomenal keyboard player. He's probably the only keyboard player that I work with who knows my voice and just knows where to go with me. So we have done different things over the years. And so I was in Montreal visiting him, and he had gotten this microphone, this new microphone. He has a studio set up in his home. He wanted to test out his microphone. So he set it up in his daughter's bedroom. And I said, okay, yeah. He says, would you help me? I said, sure. So anyway, he just started to play and I started to sing, and that's what came out. It hasn't been redone. It was totally improvised on the spot, 2 minutes and 28 seconds. That was it. And we didn't do anything with it after that. I said, I don't want to touch it. I said, I just like it the way it is. Freedom for me is being free from the attachments of this world, of the ephemeral things that don't matter, not to be caught up into those kinds of things. So that's what it means to me.
Freedom, such a wonderful thing between a man and a woman. Working on the thing we all need to know that we're all loved. Whatever we do, wherever we go, I understand that I'm looking for love. Freedom, something that we cherish every day. We take it for granted in our own small way. But there's nothing bigger than freedom. I know that you may not understand, but one day you will. destiny to know these deeper things. Freedom, oh freedom. I want you as my best friend. It's not a careless thing. I cherish you night and day. Oh, freedom, freedom. Freedom.
Oh, thank you, Gordy. Such a beautiful, soulful song. Gorgeous. And our last song is coming up, and it might be one that you want to get up and dance to.
But before we have the last song, thanks to all our wonderful performers, to you, our audience. And this is our first live streamed show. We've learned a lot. We have a lot to learn. So we're going to be sending each of you another message on Eventbrite with some links. One of them is a link for a short survey to provide your feedback to help us be even better next time. Also, there'll be information or a link where you can get more information about our sing-alongs and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And how they can view the show again if they
That's
they
right.
wish.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks for reminding me.
Wonderful. And, you know, our organization, REACH, and this show really celebrates diversity and inclusion. And in REACH, we find that in some ways we're actually better because of our differences. And it brings a lot of joy, and we feel like one big family. And we think this is how the world can be and how it was meant to be.
What do you like most about REACH?
I think getting to love each other and feel very comfortable with them. That is what I love most about REACH.
For me, REACH is like family. REACH to me is like family.
Lovely.
It's family. It's family.
thanks to Bob Ryan for editing and putting that video together for us.
And thank you, Pedro and Alexa, for doing the live streaming here for us and all that you've done to help us with this production.
Pretty close. We only went 1 minute over time.
Oh.
Blessings to everybody. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.